We are back.
And matching.
We are back and matching. For those of you who are not watching us on YouTube, who can't see us, we are in a matching set. This is very us, and
we are suckers. We love. I love matching. It's something that I always do. I always ask you, "Hey, darling, what are you using?" And you said, black and jeans. Okay, black and jeans it is.
We are that disgustingly needy couple, but I don't know. I love it.
The same shoes, the same top, the same
head to toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do buy two things usually.
So
one a little bit bigger than the other. Anyway.
That is who we are. But today we're going to talk about something really, really exciting. Today we are going to talk about how to create an inquiry process that actually converts so we can get rid of people ghosting you and start booking more weddings. But first, we actually wanted to shift out. We were doing a lesson of the week, but now we wanted to change into a gratitude of the moment, because something we're very big on is being grateful for things. Anytime we get a new client, we're super grateful. Anytime we have a meal, we sit down and talk about what we're grateful for. And we wanted to bring that into this because that's very much who we are. What are you grateful for at the moment, darling?
I was going to ask you that first, but
sorry.
I think when I was working in sales, I remember sometimes I'll have bad days or difficult clients, and I remember the only thing that will snap me instantly out of that bad mood will be to do something kind for somebody, to do something good for somebody else. Either making a coffee, smiling, a little child, giving them bickies, whatever. Eating a bickie myself.
Bickies always help.
Usually when you do something for somebody else, it snaps you out of your own self and makes you feel good. It's something that I cannot explain. So something we've been doing and something that I'm very grateful for is that the last few months we've been doing something different. We've been able to give 10% of our revenue every single month. We just give it away to people in need. And it's been, honestly, money is not comparable with the reward we see when people are grateful, and you can really see that you can help, and they're unexpected, and they cry with you,
and we're crying and everyone's crying.
It is so beautiful to be able to do that, because growing up I didn't have the chance to do it. I was very much on the other end. But now that I can do it, that we can do it, it's been so fulfilling for the soul. I can't explain it. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be in a position where we can do that.
Where we can help. Me too.
What about you?
Look, your one was a good one, and I wholeheartedly agree with everything you said. And mine would just be, I'm really grateful at the moment. I feel very clear with everything. And as a business owner, you know that clarity is definitely not a regular thing. It's, you're second guessing yourself constantly. And recently, I've felt really clear in the type of content that I want to create, the type of service that we provide. We've actually cut a service that we offered, our System Essentials, because it didn't align with what our clients were needing, and it was just getting really complicated, all the process. And we just said, you know what? Where do we want to go? Who do we want to help? How can we help in the way that they need us to? And how can we speak to those people and reach them? And I've just got a lot of clarity on that. And I'm really grateful for that, because it doesn't come around very often. I spend a lot of my time in the overthinking central, but yeah, I know Geraldo's rolling his eyes at me because I overthink everything, but yeah, that's what I'm grateful for.
That's awesome. So let's dive right into it. I remember you were talking about how to create a really good inquiry process that can convert more. And before we dive into it, why are we talking about this topic today?
So if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen I was going to do a challenge where I was mystery shopping the best wedding vendors, and I wanted to share their inquiry process to teach you what they were doing well and to showcase that. And it sucked. It was so hard. I literally quit before I even posted episode 1, and it made me so frustrated that people who are meant to be the best in the industry, let me tell you, the best people in the industry are not as good as you think. Not talking about their skill, of course, but when it comes to actually their client experience, it was dreadful, and I did not want to create a series just saying negative things. I was going to keep everything anonymous, of course, but I just didn't want to be a negative Nancy. I wanted to teach people.
We actually wanted to use it to inspire people on what the leaders are doing for them to replicate.
Yeah.
And it got backfired. And then at the end of the day, we really realized that, for example, all the clients where we've helped to all the automations in the process, because we go through a very rigorous process of a strategy where we can dial all the different stages from the inquiry to the anniversary after.
Yeah.
And we were shocked to realize how good those things are compared to
maybe our standards are so high because we help people create this phenomenal experience, and I just assumed that the leaders in the industry would also be doing, you know, things like that, and they just are not. So that was quite confronting to see, and that's why we wanted to make this episode, because I couldn't teach you in the way that I initially thought by doing little series on Instagram mystery shopping, but I'm going to teach you now.
To teach you anyway, so
it's going to take 4 easy steps. It's really not that hard. 4 simple steps to create a phenomenal client experience from the inquiry.
Yes. So let's go with the first one. Ready? Pen and paper, everyone? Ready?
Everyone get yourself ready. Number 1 is, how easy is it to inquire? This is really important because we see so many people, you know, just on their Instagram saying, DM me for inquiries or email me for inquiries. And we get it. You have to start somewhere, but that is not going to get people inquiring. If you want to get booked and busy, that is not the way. We're here to teach you. We're not judging you, of course, but there is a better way. And it comes down to making it simple. Even if you don't have a website yet, that's fine, but you can have an inquiry form that you put as a link on your Instagram for people to inquire. And if you have a website, make sure it's very clear where they need to inquire, because sometimes people's websites, you've seen it, we build websites as well, and
they don't have the call of action, they don't have the book now, they don't have the... It's quite hard to navigate when you find something that flows. You open the website and it says book here, book there. It's just so much easier to navigate if you don't know it.
Yeah, and that's really important. And the other point on that is, with your inquiry form, it needs to be really clear and simple, the information that the client needs to give. When I was inquiring with some of these top vendors, they would say, name, email, wedding date, what's your inquiry? And it's like, okay, I know the wedding industry, but for a bride or a couple who are getting married for the first time, they have no idea what information you need. And then if you don't give enough information, then you as the business owner need to say, hey, I actually need this information. It's this back and forth that really breaks the flow and just creates this, like, I don't know, it's just not like a great feeling. Like, you're like, oh, this is already irritating me.
It's interesting because you were telling me, I was asking Indy how she was going, and in some point somebody replied in week number 4 or something saying, so do you want a quote or not? And I'm like, obviously, that's why we're inquiring. So the fact that the inquiry process didn't have all those important questions for the vendor to simplify the process, it blew my mind.
It was really tedious, you know, and then there'd be the flip side where people would ask too many questions, and it was irritating because imagine, you know, couples, they are inquiring with a lot of people. They don't have all this time. So you don't need to ask all the vendor details in the inquiry form. You can ask that later, closer to the wedding, when everything is confirmed, when they're actually your client. But in the beginning, you don't need to ask that. You know, most people won't know the photographer's time of arrival when they're just inquiring with you. Ask the questions you need to quote. Don't ask more than that.
Ask whatever is relevant for you to simplify the process.
Exactly. And don't assume people know what you do. So don't assume they're going to know what information to provide you. Ask the questions, nice and simple, nice and clear, which takes us to point number 2. And I want to quickly brief this, because what is point number 2?
Speed.
We want to be fast. And you want to know what is so frustrating? I inquired with 11 top vendors, and 7 of them took over 4 weeks to respond to me from my inquiry.
Damn.
It did my head in. As a busy business owner, I don't have that time, but couples don't either.
And that's why you stopped.
I literally stopped because I was like, I don't have the time or the patience for this.
I didn't even want to ask Indy how she was going with that, because she was so frustrated, because some people actually, still a big portion of those 11 people never replied to you.
Yeah, actually true. And Geraldo kept following up with me. He's like, how are you going? You haven't posted episode 1. Where are you doing it? And I was like, I'm so irritated right now. Please stop asking me, because this is so frustrating and taking up so much of my time.
So number 2 is neatly talking about the sales process. every single time someone wants to buy you, whenever you wanted to buy something, what is it that you really want to achieve? You want to get in and get out. Go, explore. You probably have an idea what you want, and you want to click, buy, put your credit card details, 2 clicks, done, and your order is coming, right?
Well, that's point number 4. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, but it's an easy process. So what I'm talking about here is that there is an emotional charge to the inquiry. When leads get to you, they stalk you, they know your style, they kind of know your personality, if you're going to be the right suit. If you have your prices on your website or on your social media, they will know if they can afford you. So then they send you an inquiry. And most of the business owners that are truly making good money, or they are established and they have systems, you get an inquiry back or a message back directly saying, hey, we have received your inquiry, we'll reply to you within 24 to 48 hours, whatever it is, something that gives the client, oh, my inquiry has been acknowledged.
Yes, and this was so frustrating. Out of those 11, let me tell you, not one of them sent me an automated, your inquiry has been received. And that was really irritating for me because I forgot who I inquired with. And I was like, oh, did I already do this person or did I not? And if I had have had that email, I could have checked back on it. And couples are the same. They want to inquire with people. They're busy. They've got a lot on their plate. Just make it easier for them.
Yeah. We all know how heavy logistically it is to organize a wedding. Well, not me.
Yeah, Geraldo said, oh, planning a wedding's been so easy. And I'm like, what did you do? You bought a suit.
And it was an allotment. It's a lot easier. Imagine when people need to invite people and create, anyway.
It was still tedious planning an overseas wedding, let me tell you. But anyway, I'm glad it was easy.
The study shows that people, you can close, you can have 400% more bookings if you reply to them within the first 5 minutes, or if you get in touch with them within the first 5 minutes. That emotional charge declines up to 10 times within the next 30 minutes. So it's fundamental for you to get in touch with them as soon as possible. From the sales point of view, I remember when I used to have inquiries and I was in a different industry, my mission number 1 was to get back to the inquiries as fast as possible to increase the chances for you to book them.
Yeah, very important. We always recommend, obviously on weekends, you don't need to respond. We never tell, you're at weddings. You can even make your automated, thank you for inquiry, a bit fun. We'll get back to you within 48 hours, Monday to Friday. On weekends, we're out, with our couples or at weddings or whatever. You can make it fun and personal, but no more than 48 hours. 24 within, ideal, as soon as possible, ideal, no more than 48 hours.
Yeah, so we talk about easy inquiry process, speed. Point number 3, what would that be?
How your quote looks. How are you showing up? And I've heard it before, the aesthetics don't matter. It matters. I promise you, it matters. The reason being is because the wedding industry, couples are inquiring with a lot of different people. It's you and your competition. And I hate the word competition because I really do believe in community. However, it's literally you or the next person. You and 10 other people that needs to win this couple's attention. And if you are literally just sending an email with your price list and, your bank details, that it doesn't really stand out, does it? You might be doing a Canva document, which, it does look a little bit better than just an email. However, it's still not sustainable when you're getting a lot of bookings to personalize that and to make it interactive and to make it, clickable, that the clients can jump online and select add-ons or view things. And how it looks matters. How you bring your brand into it really matters. How you bring your personality into it, it is really important because imagine this. You're a couple and you get all of these inquiries back and they all look the same. It's just a table of numbers and prices and, blends into one. Or they get this beautiful standout proposal that has information about you, shows your photo. Who are you more inclined to book? It is a no-brainer.
Exactly. Now, this is like if you're going to pick your personal trainer, right? And you have one that is ripped and fit and one that is not so much. Which one do you think has a better chance to teach you how to get to that? And it's something super subconscious. It's something that we sometimes can't even decide over it. But if you have something that is beautifully designed, gives you certainty, gives you the trust that if those people, those business owners are caring enough to take care of themselves, care of their business, they might have a high chance for them to take care of you in your wedding day, which is the most important day of your life up to that point if you haven't had kids yet. So it's very important for you to pass on that certainty, because certainty is what sells. So I think it's super important.
It is important, yeah, 100%. And exactly what you said, there was actually this study that was done, and they interviewed a bunch of businesses, like corporate high-end businesses, and they were saying if somebody came in and they had the exact same skill set, but someone was really fit and somebody was not, who would you choose? And all of them said the fit person. And the point about this is just how you show up and you present subconsciously tells people that you invest in yourself, you care about what you do, and also that you're disciplined and you're a legitimate business, because how many scams are there around at the moment? If you are, handing over a lot of money for your wedding day, how can you be sure that this person is a legitimate business, is actually going to show up on the day, is actually going to do what they said? Like, I know myself personally, I would feel more inclined to trust a business that looked professional and had this, beautiful branded form that links to a contract, that links to an invoice, over just an email.
The thing is, sometimes we overrate the skill of the artist or the stylist,
or whatever it is that you do for a wedding.
Or whatever it is that you do, the quality of the photos, the cinematics of the videos, the florals, the gathering, whatever. But then up to a certain level, they're all very similar, right? The packages are quite similar, the price points are quite similar. So then which one really stands out from the others?
How can you tell from the beginning? Because if I'm booking, let's say, a photographer, okay, yeah, I've seen your photos, great, but I don't get to experience your photos until the wedding day. How am I experiencing you before that? That is super important. So bring us home with point number 4.
Right, so we talk about many things, but
we touched on this a little bit in point number 2, but this is where it really ties in.
Yes, I think in the inquiry process, everything needs to be beautiful, right? But then, okay, I'm excited, I saw your work, I stalked you, I want to go ahead, and how easy, from the client point of view, how easy it is now to move forward with you? Do I have the certainty that I can just sign the contract digitally, that I don't need to print, I don't need to send to you, that I don't need to click a box by agreeing with those, by paying the deposit, I agree with these terms?
That is not legal, FYI, you are not covered.
Does it have enough structure to get a contract signed digitally? Is it easy for me to just say, oh, there are some upsells options that I didn't even consider? Of course, I'm a client, I have not really a deep understanding of what you do, but oh wow, that extending a little bit extra hours is good, a little bit extra touch-ups, or maybe different type of floral designs. I'd never even thought about it. Those are really good ideas for the client themselves to upsell themselves, because let's be honest, lots of creatives are not really good at upselling.
It's scary. I hate it.
So if you can put the system to get that done for you, it's easy. And then you can just submit that, go back to the payment options, put your credit cards, and bang, booked. You get an automated email that says, hey, you've been booked, congratulations, your wedding has been locked in. How easy is for you to book with yourself? How are the processes that you have established for your clients to make it easy for them to say yes?
Yeah, absolutely, because there's a few things that I want to add on that. The first thing is, when I was inquiring with these people, so many of them are like, what Geraldo said earlier, oh yes, we've received it, we're available, would you like a quote? Like, that is not easy to move forward. And the thing that we talk about all the time are bank details. And that's because it's not easy. Getting your bank details and looking at the BSB and the account number and making sure you've got the right numbers, it's tedious for a bride. And let me tell you, when I was a makeup artist, 2 of my brides accidentally put in the wrong numbers, because it happens, right? We're all human. I've done it before too. And it's a lot of money. And then it's so stressful for the bride, because they're saying, I've paid you, and you're saying, oh, I haven't actually received the payment. And they're sending you screenshots, and you're like, oh, there's a wrong number. And then you have to wait for it to bounce back. And then they've got to redo it. Like, it's just a really stressful process. And we're all about making, you know, people's lives easier, businesses' lives easier to get paid, and clients' lives easier to pay. And that comes into it, just online payment options. It's quick, it's easy, it works.
We have realized that the generation is changing rapidly, and we have, in the beginning especially, we set up some businesses with like cash on the day, or try to push into the cash payments, but
or transfer. We even tried to say
or transfer, and then sometimes they tell us that their clients, their brides, are paying everything in one go, and
online,
or they are asking them if they can incorporate online booking payments, because it's just so easy for them. They can just, I don't know, double tap on the phones. It's just, everything is migrating into the new generation to make it easier for them. They grew up with technology, and we need to find the right path for them to facilitate the process. So
and also, like, the system that we use and we set up for people, it has the option for people to turn on auto pay, which is direct debit, and you would be so surprised the number of brides who choose to turn on auto pay because they don't need to think about it. Think about how many people they are paying, and they're just like, oh my gosh, what a great option. I don't need to think about it. It will just come out. So people want easy.
That's it. That's a whole process. From the sales point of view, the easier you make it for your customers to say yes, and the harder for them to say no, the more you increase your chances to have more bookings.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So many people in the wedding industry think that ghosting is the problem. Ghosting is not the problem. Your process is the problem. So you need to improve it. And these 4 easy steps are what's going to help you. So make it easy for them to complete an inquiry form, get back to them quickly, make sure it looks beautiful and professional, and make it easy for them to move forward.
It's incredible, because I wanted to add one more thing.
Yeah,
exactly
go for it.
What you just said. Some artists, some people, some business owners think that the only thing they need to improve is their craft.
Yeah.
Which is not 100% necessary. I'll give you an example. How many of you can make a burger that tastes better, look better than Macca's? I can. You can.
Yeah.
Most people can. So if that's the case, why am I not selling as much as Macca's? Is it a skill problem?
No.
Or is it systems and marketing and all the sales process structure? So then you need to understand that sometimes will come somebody with less skills than you, but because they have this process in place, they're going to take your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why it's so important, and why we love what we do so much, because if you're listening to this going, that sounds great, but I have no idea how to do that, that is exactly what we help you do. And something that we don't touch on very often, but we do with every client, is we have a strategy call with them, and we sit down and we don't just go through, okay, we're going to build a system for you. It's like, how can we refine your client experience from the first inquiry to, you know, the anniversary email, to make sure you're converting more, make sure you're getting clients that are so happy, they're leaving reviews, they're sending you photos, your client retention is high, your referral rate is high. That is something that we really pride ourselves on, is that process we have with our clients to build out that client experience.
Yes, because we've done many businesses right now, and they all have different shapes, different forms, they are in different stages, which has been great, because some of them have marketing problems, some of them will have a sales process problem, some of them will have an inquiry problem, some of them won't get the photos, some of them won't get the testimonials. So every business needs to have its own strategy.
Absolutely.
And that strategy can change between now and 6 months, because and I really hope it changes, so it means that you're growing. So we are all the time refining those things. I remember, when was it? A couple of days ago, we were talking to Louise Antonjuk.
Oh yeah, we've done her system and her website.
When we did her system last year to now, her strategy is completely different. So we refined her sales process again. her experience again, and she was super happy with that because her reality now has changed.
Yeah.
So things need to tweak.
And that's exciting, and we want people's business to grow, and it's so exciting to see people evolving and facing different challenges, and we're in the same boat too. Like the challenges we face today, we faced different ones last year, the year before, and that's business, right? It grows and it evolves, and it's a beautiful, terrifying, challenging journey, but it's all part of it.
And the bigger you grow, the newer the challenges, and the greater you need to become as well. So if you found this valuable, subscribe, share with your friends. You might have somebody who needs to hear this message. Independently of the industry, these things are very much useful in any industry across the line. If you have questions, if you have a topic that you want us to address, something that you're struggling with within your business, reach out to us. We are always happy to help and to keep
supporting you,
giving you value, finding things that will be fruitful for you, that we have experienced for you to learn.
We hope you guys have the best week, day, whatever it is that you're morning, night.
If you're driving right now to work, if you're driving from work to home, whatever you're doing right now, I really hope you're having a blessed day.
And one little challenge for you before we go. Take a moment to be grateful for something that's happening to you right now, because it really is life-changing. On that note, we're grateful that you are here and that you listened, and we will see you next time.
See you next time, guys.